Hello, everyone. How are you? Welcome to Oracle Talks. Hope you are well. I am Jeanette the Oracle, and this is our weekly check-in with the divine. As you come in, say hello to everybody. Let us know where you're joining us from in the world. I'm going to be enjoying my protein shake. Hope everybody's been having a good week. I hope you were able to spend time with friends or family, ideally, so that you were not alone for the holiday. For those of us in the US, you could ground in and feel good. Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Oh, we got Iceland in the house. Welcome, Iceland. We have the UK. Welcome, UK. It's evening for y'all. Charlotte in the house. Got water. Beautiful. Brussels is in the house. I love it. Lots of European energy in today. It's awesome. SoCal. Beautiful. I'm here in SoCal as well. It's not sunny, but it is nice. Water and coffee in Houston. Very nice. I do have tea, Earl Grey, and water, so lots of liquids happening. New Jersey in the house, welcome. Welcome to the folks on YouTube as well. Okay, so as you can see from the title, the intention for today is to do channel messages for the Neptune energy, and we'll see what comes through with that. Let me actually put this back a bit so I have more room. So how have folks been feeling? Because Neptune is in its modern home sign, because before we discovered Neptune, Jupiter was the ruler. But how have folks been feeling this week with the station direct? I believe it technically happened yesterday. Would have been early morning here on the West Coast, evening for folks on the East Coast or in Europe. But how have you been feeling with that? Have you been feeling a bit of a relief? Has it been kind of like all over the place emotionally? Like what's been coming up? What's been coming up for people? How are you feeling? Are you feeling more grounded now that it's going direct? Are you not feeling grounded? Hello to everybody coming in. Welcome, welcome. Currently, we only have one last planet retrograde, and that is Uranus. Uranus will be going direct in January of next year. So pretty much, though, everything else is direct. So we should definitely be feeling that things start to pick up and progress. For sure. Something shifted yesterday. Maybe it was me getting out of the house all day for work. I mean, that part. Maybe it was Neptune. Either way, I got an interview scheduled for promotion. Congratulations. Come through, promotion. Yes. Beautiful. Everything feels so certain, and there is more clarity. Beautiful. I like that. Yeah. We got London. Nice. Thank you for asking how I am. I appreciate that. I am well. My cycle is in the process of starting. So the timing is interesting because, that is a time of release, obviously, for those of us who menstruate. So my energetic reserves go towards the process of release. And then like the Neptune energy, and then it's the dark days of the moon, because we're about to have the new moon, which is also a solar eclipse. So I've been feeling like I'm in the middle of an ocean for sure, but not in a bad way, but it's I'm very much not resisting that at all. but yeah, it's definitely a little bit more kind of foggy, but I still feel grounded and I still feel clear. And there is definitely a lot of clarity. Definitely like actually leading up into the direct motion. But yeah, the clarity for sure. For sure. Let's see. Got clarity yesterday. Beautiful. Feel like a fog has been lifted. Yeah. Feeling more grounded and feeling clearer after the November 19th period. I've gotten some nice opportunities. Yay. Very nice. That 19th was the Taurus eclipse. Yeah. I mean, so technically, you know, we're still in the last day of this eclipse. What word should I use? Threshold. So the 2 weeks between the eclipse, we had the full moon lunar eclipse in Taurus a few weeks ago, and then tomorrow late night here on the West Coast, but Saturday for everybody else. You know, we're going to be having the new moon solar eclipse. So these 2 weeks have been a really interesting energetic space overall to be in, and the fact that is also happening while this Neptune is going direct has definitely like so much deep spiritual energy in the background. And we're in the zodiac month of Sagittarius, so we are lined up right with the galactic center. So high spirit connection to soul self vibes going on. Yay, luckiness. Thank you. Thank you. I've been feeling a lot of crowning energy. Nice. Hello, everybody coming in. We got lots of folks coming in. Welcome. Okay, so good. I'm glad that is shifting for everybody. I'm actually going to shift my decks. So the first spread that I will do will be looking at practical matters, kind of what we have, what lessons, if you will, we have been able to learn or master. I don't know if it would necessarily, I mean, some of it definitely might be some new things, but the lessons that we've been kind of dealing with, what we're sitting with now, like the treasure that we've found. Because if you've been following me for a while, when I talk about, actually, I don't know if I talk about this in Oracle Talks, but when I do the astrology intensives, in the past, I've talked about how when Neptune retrogrades, it can feel like it's low tide when you're at the beach. And when it's low tide, you see a lot more of what's on the bottom because the water is obviously further back from the shore. So a lot more gets exposed. And for some folks, that can actually feel more clarifying if they have a hard time dealing with Neptunian energy or a lot of the water energy, because it helps them to actually like be able to feel more grounded and perceive more. For some, if they are really actually struggling, it can be uncomfortable because there's not a buffer or a way to kind of numb or hide from things because it's so exposed. So, you know, it really is going to depend on the person. And for others, you know, if it's not a negative thing, it might not also feel as intuitive, because if you are more yin or feminine, excuse me, energetically based, having that water, quote unquote, pulled back a little bit more can feel tougher to kind of like drop into center. So that's something to kind of think about. Like, you know, if it feels better having Neptune direct, you actually may be quite comfortable with a lot of water energy compared to others, or it just helps you deal with tough stuff more or not. Like, it really is going to depend. But we will see what treasure we have in our grasp now, which, you know, technically most of that has been there from the beginning. We just might have lost it or forgot about it. And there might be some things that are new, because we are always in new circumstances. The topics and the things that are being addressed might always be the same, but the contexts are always going to be different. Yeah. And then we'll see what's available for us to engage with in the near future. So we'll sit with that again in the practical context first, and then we'll go, depending on time and my energy level, we'll go to the more spiritual esoteric. Okay, I mean, this is all spiritual, but not directly related to the mundane, I'll say. Welcome, Chicago. Yay, lunchtime. So take a few deep breaths, call in your higher self. And set the intention and affirm receiving messages for the highest and greatest good for your path on this day. Ask for your higher self to remove any obstacles from your ability to see, feel, hear, or understand messages that come through. Also ask your higher self to open up pathways of opportunities, abundance, prosperity, wellness for you this day. As a reminder for folks, enrollment for the Lightworker Incubator is open still. The last day to apply for enrollment is on Thursday, December 16th. So basically 2 more weeks. Then enrollment will be closing. This is for the cohort that will be starting in January of next year. So if you are feeling the call, please do submit your application. You get to schedule a free, no cost, free clarity call with me, so we can talk about the program, and I can basically answer any questions that you have, because high key, most people already know whether or not they want to come when they apply. But it's good for us to touch base and, still answer any lingering questions that may be popping up. So, there's that. So come through. I would love to have you. All right. Keep breathing. Keep staying connected to your experience within your body, within your soul. If you find that your mind is, projecting outward, or energy is projecting outward, thoughts are all over the place, you have the power to bring your energy back, to bring your thoughts back, and make it submit to the power of your soul. Remember, you are a soul having a human experience. You are the divine in physical form. Interesting. Okay, so practical messages first, like I said. We'll deal with health first. Health and overall wellness. So that could include, mental wellness, emotional wellness, etc. One moment. This is very much a mixed bag of energy, so let me drop into this real quick. Actually, let me see if I'm going to take these cards. No, I won't, actually. All right, one sec. It's a mixed bag of energy because there's so many different energies that are happening, like, because of this threshold. So let me tune a little bit more. One moment. Welcome to everybody who's coming in. Welcome to the folks on YouTube. I might have to just do a general message. I don't know that I'll be able to get that specific. So as I was initially intending. The structure will be the same, but if I'm able to get into other specifics, I will. Yeah, the energy shifting. So, okay. Welcome, welcome. Good morning. Hello, hello. Hello, Inglewood. Beautiful. Almost there. Energy shifting. So it's the reason why I had to like redirect also is because there's so much on people's minds about the future, planning for the future, what's coming ahead, like just a lot of preemptive decision making, i.e. anxiety. So we got to watch that. Okay, Ace of Cups. Death card. Two of Wands. One last card, and then we'll get into it. More. 10 of Wands. Yeah, okay. So there definitely was an important shift that was made for sure. Consciously, spiritually, at a soul level, all the things. We also have 9 of Wands, Queen of Pentacles, the Fool, Page of Cups, 3 of Swords. This is the energy we're sitting in. So like truly a separation from what was to something new for sure, whatever that's going to be. Page of Wands. And in the center is 7 of Pentacles. Okay. So we got double pages, Page of Wands, Page of Cups. We have 2 major arcana, the Fool and the Death card. We have the 9, 10, and 2 of Wands. Ace of Cups, 3 of Cups. And then the Queen of Pentacles. Okay. One moment. Okay, so in general, we are I believe last time we had 2 8s and a Knight of Pentacles come out. I can't remember what the 8s were. I think they were 8. I remember one was 8 of Swords. I don't remember the other one. It might have been 8 of Cups, or 8 of Wands, actually. Yeah, it was 8 of Swords, 8 of Wands. But there definitely was a lot of this quote unquote threshold energy, meaning the transition from one state to another. And that, can run the gamut depending on what it is that we individually have been focusing on. So, I mean, it could be literal, like moving from one place to another. It could be a shift from one position at a job to another position at a job. It could be a shift in a relationship. So a deepening of an existing relationship or a distancing of an existing relationship. It could be a transition from working a lot to being more balanced between work and play. And definitely could be a shift internally with mindset, belief systems, or emotional space from possibly one of more volatility, because we had that 8 of Swords before, to one of a lot more equanimity and groundedness internally. So this was a really important, not only just these past 2 weeks, but the whole Neptune retrograde period, actually dancing around whatever this core shift has been, whether we realize it or not. And, depending on what it is that is resonant for you as I'm speaking about this, it may or may not have been going on for that long. If it's definitely something more internal or relational, it may have definitely been in the background for the past couple months. And finally, there was an opportunity or enough momentum to kind of like shift and flip into something else. So that has definitely happened. There, whatever that shift was, whether it's an external shift or an internal shift, and it would have been something that you've consciously been working on, because we're sitting with the 3 of Swords. So it's a painful, in some ways painful separation, or in other ways just necessary separation from whatever the previous state is to the new state. The positive energy of the 3 of Swords is basically like no longer looking at the world through rose-colored glasses. So that could be, on one hand, not being naive, but on the other hand, it can be seeing the world, or having a perspective of the soul and not your conditioning, based on how you've been raised or the culture that you're a part of, etc. So take this as it resonates. I know it's going to be all across the board for folks, but take it as it resonates. It may help, excuse me, to know where. One second. Well, it might just be internal shifts. It might really just be internal shifts for folks. I was going to say it may just be something specific to the house that Neptune is currently in your chart. But I think because I literally just got choked. And the fact that Neptune is in Pisces, like this is very much a soul and spirit message. So a real reorientation in that regard. This resonates mostly internal, but has also been reflected in the internal. Yeah. So that's the thing. It's like the coming into a deeper understanding that the internal world, your spiritual world, your soul alignment, and your soul is always aligned with your path. When I say soul alignment, I mean you and your human mind aligned with your soul. That actually having a direct and quite powerful impact on your external, right? Like really having to see that. Yeah, the shift has indeed been felt. My rose-colored glasses flew off. Listen. Okay. I thought I saw somebody have a question, but if there are questions, just put them in the comment, or I think you can actually hit the little question icon at the bottom. Hello, YouTube family. Welcome. Okay, so now with that being said, this shift definitely has been whatever the internal and okay, I'm just gonna say it. It's a belief system shift. So I don't know what the belief system is that you've had to shift. Maybe you know what that's going to be, but there has been some type of internal belief system shift, most likely relating to you submitting more to your soul. Whatever that shift has been in belief system has been a really important shift that you've needed to make, that we've needed to make, because this has actually been something that we've been literally struggling with. This is struggle energy. This is something that we've been struggling with and been burdened with energetically for a very long time. We've been burdened with whatever this is for a really long time. And it's been keeping us from being able to transition into what's next for us for real, for real. So this message will resonate with you if you feel like you always like if you have, well, I would say always, if you feel like you haven't quite crossed the threshold or reached the precipice of what is for you next. Like if you feel like you've been hovering around the finish line for a minute, but haven't been able to actually like finish and get the prize and go on to the next level. Or for those of you that play video games, like you keep not being able to beat this one boss. Right. And so you spend more time on a level, you level up more, you get more experience, you get more items in a way to really employ all the tactics that are needed to address whatever it is to address. But whatever the big boss is at that level is not an external thing. It's actually an internal orientation that you might not have realized was having as much of an impact on the fulfillment of your destiny that it has. So, because of that, now there is true and deep transformation that is able to occur in a way that, again, has not been able to do so before, because this internal work is and has been a choice, even if we haven't necessarily been fully aware of it, but it has been a choice. So now things are able to start shifting, and we can go on the journey of finally completing the cycle and not holding ourselves in a holding pattern. Like pretty much most of this energy is non-physical, except for the Queen of Pentacles and the Seven of Pentacles, which tells me that for the most part, like folks who are watching this, or whether live or on the recording, are not really dealing with massive external disruptions to their well-being and their stability and security. Not to say there aren't annoyances and obstacles, but nothing right now that is like tower energy, right? So this is all internal. And what can happen now, because this shift has occurred, is basically healing with the Ace of Cups, like that. And yes, Ace of Cups definitely brings opportunities. It's more possibilities. It's not an Ace of Pentacles, because Pentacles is like a firm offer. Cups is the buffet table, right? So it what's presented may or may not be something that you ultimately want, or choose to take part of, or might be interested in, etc. But it does, regardless, give an indication that you are going in a new direction, because whatever's coming up should be new and should be more and more aligned with the direction that you're going. Again, whether or not you choose to take advantage of a particular opportunity or not. You're changing when opportunities change. The types of opportunities you have are different now compared to before. That's an indication that there is true change. Now, mind you, all this energy has always been around, but depending on where we are aligned within ourselves, truly provides an opportunity for that flow of water to directly make its way to us, instead of us having to, climb the mountain to try to seek it out. Us aligning, and whatever this internal reorientation has been, and probably honestly was a battle, because Three of Swords is not really a fun energy. Even as much as we can go to the positive with it, like it's still not a fun energy. Like it does talk about having to go through some shit to have the clarity. But aligning with soul, or whatever this belief system reorientation has been, is what clears the way for ease of access to opportunities, and or lines us up with the appropriate timing, because we might have been good internally, but we may have been causing ourselves stress and suffering because we want it on our timing and not the timing that the soul sees as appropriate for us. And usually that tends to only happen when whatever we are seeking or desiring necessarily involves other people. When it's just stuff for us, like that tends to happen pretty quickly, but a lot of things involve other people, whether directly or indirectly. So we do actually have to submit to the free will of all, and be open to other arrangements that our soul and our beneficial ancestors set up for us. let me read through these comments real quick. Let's see. I re-listened to the Spiritual New Year yesterday. Oh, nice. Thank you for that reminder. So yeah, for those of you who were there for that Spiritual New Year channeling that I did at the autumn equinox, we are currently in month 3, which is the Sagittarius month. So definitely review that. If you were not present, I do have that available to purchase, and that link and that recording will be available all year because it does go month by month. So if you're on Instagram, you can get that at the link in my bio. I'll keep that up all year. And then for everybody else, you can just go to my website. Let me put that up. You can go to my website, innersunalchemy.com, and click on events, and it will be linked there for you. But see, tuned into refresh on Sag and started listening to the path. So timely, stepping into our full power. Yep. Beautiful. I have to laugh at that. I've been waiting on this interview to be scheduled for 2 months now. I knew Spirit was just waiting for me to choose me first. I mean, that's the thing. Because, I mean, I know what I specifically have been having to practice is saying no more often than not. Which necessarily includes checking in with my soul with every, potential decision that comes up. And because it may seem like a good idea, or my mind is going on its own ego trip about what it should be, what it should look like, the timing of it, all the things, right? And I can get hyped up in that or in the loop of that. Meanwhile, soul is like, no. And so it's just like, it's such a waste of energy. But yeah, I mean, not saying this for you, but yes. Yeah, it's the hard part for me. Highly recommend to review. Yeah. I mean, any year ahead stuff is important, right? Especially the spiritual guidance, because it's going to be relevant for folks regardless of the literal things that can happen. It's there to give guidance for the approach to life and what to ground in with. So I believe this month was the Hierophant month. So there are a lot of messages that were coming through. But this is the last month of the autumn season for us here in the Northern Hemisphere. So it definitely is an important month. Okay, let's see what else. So there's a reminder here with the full in the deep past that we are on a new journey. We are on a new path. Astrologically, in case you forgot, we did begin a new generational cycle because we had the Saturn-Pluto conjunction in Capricorn in January of last year, 2020. So that for this particular cycle is going to be approximately 33 years. That's not the same time every time they have a conjunction, but for this period is going to be 33 years. So we did begin a brand new generation. Welcome, welcome. We did begin a new generational cycle. So with it being that long of a cycle, and I know I've mentioned this before, but it's important to remember that as much newness that we're stepping into, the things from the previous cycle that brought us success, that brought us to a place of mastery for what that cycle was, may or may not be beneficial for where we're going. And it's not to judge what was, it's just to check in and see like, okay, is this continuing to work or not? I mean, that's 7 of Pentacles energy. It's harvest, right? So it is reaping the rewards of the work that you've put in. So it's beneficial. It is opportunity, abundance, harvest, right? But it also includes assessment, because there will be more. Like once you get to the point of harvest, you reach a place of success, you will continue to have more harvest because the work is put in. So in no way, shape, or form will you be building from scratch in anything that, is being addressed right now. That's coming up for you, the areas of concern. Like, you're not going to be starting from scratch. It's just going to be a matter of, for the next planting or for the new things that are rising, what shifts and adjustments need to be made. So because right now it's looking like this is what's being talked about right now is this internal belief system shift. There's something about whatever it is that we're working on, or that we have recently shifted with the Two of Wands here. Excuse me. Which really honestly has been for the past couple months. It's not just the eclipse, it's been a couple months. But whatever that shift has been something that, again, got you to where you needed to be for the last cycle, but is absolutely a source of sabotage for the next cycle. So the key of liberation, or sword or shield that might have been used before, becomes shackle, right? It becomes something that binds us. So whatever that has been for folks, and let me know what that is. I don't know that folks have really been talking about what the belief system shift, but let me know in the comments what that shift has been. But whatever that is what is going to be one of the things that frees you up for what's available and what's coming. But that first step is allowing time and space for there to be healing. Because regardless, there is something about that belief system that got us to where we were, that was still born out of conflict and pain, or at the most, deepest esoteric level, based in this idea of separation from our soul, separation from reality, just some kind of level of dissonance from that which is true with a capital T, in some way, shape, or form. Which it makes sense, right? Because we're continuing to grow spiritually. So the further and further we go in our conscious development, the closer and closer we get to being in full coherence and alignment with truth with a capital T, with reality, with our soul. But yeah, the root of whatever the belief system, even though it got us to a good level of success, it also cost a lot. It cost a lot, and most likely was born out of some level of pain. So we really have to just allow space and time for that healing to occur, because the shift already happened. Like there's no, again, we've been in that process for the Neptune retrograde period, which has been a few months, right? All the ways that we've been like striving and working and shifting, like that's what we've been doing. So now the waters are returning, the direct motion is returning, which is going to cleanse the system and heal the system. And now you can let that shift in belief system carry you. Because it's not a path of internal war. It's a path of flow. Let me circle back. I think my belief shift was that unconditional love is the way I want to love. Can you expand a little bit more on that? What you mean by that? You've been branded. My belief system in that I don't mesh with others because I feel like an outcast. Oh, interesting. Interesting. So what, and so for the folks who are commenting, what is the the new belief that's arising, if the clarity is there yet. It might not quite be there yet. It might still be forming. Because definitely this is deeper kind of subconscious, unconscious work for sure. Let's see, loving people unconditionally because you have compassion for the humanity, but sometimes their humanity hurts you. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Right. The difference between unconditional love and purposeful human connection. Like they're actually not two separate things. You can still love unconditionally, but you are in no way, shape, or form obligated to actually be in relationship or closeness to that which you do not prefer or whoever you don't prefer. Yeah, for sure. So you think my belief system shift is being ready for the opportunities that are different when there's been a shift. Can you expand a little bit more on that though? Like what's the belief around opportunities? The shift for me has been coming from a belief that speaking up for myself is hurtful. So staying silent when really speaking my truth authentically is not hurtful despite others' ego-based reactions. Yeah, that is reclamation of one's voice. New clarity. There are people out there who vibrate with the same energy desires. I have to learn. Energy desires. I have to learn to stay authentic, have faith that I can create environments where I feel safe and open. Yes. You have the power and ability to do so, especially with technology being what it is. And I know I specifically talked about this a couple weeks ago on Oracle Talks about how, years ago, without the advent of the internet, we very much were restricted to having access to building community just from what was available to us locally. But now with all the things that are available, even if we do not have that in our little environment, we are able to access that virtually. So there actually is not an excuse to not be finding at least a handful of your folks that resonate. And if you don't see any, groups or whatever popping up, then it's actually on you to take the lead in creating that and attract the folks that you prefer to you. We have tools now to use that, so that's beautiful. The idea of not being ready. Okay. Well, I think that is the message. Let me sit with that for a little bit more. So for clarity with this death card here, this is letting us know that the transformation is still in process. This is actually what's happening in the background. And it is specifically for this deeper level of healing, mind, heart, emotions, whatever it's going to be. So just be aware of that, be mindful of that. This may take about a month or possibly 40 days to really just kind of like settle. more so in our emotional body, possibly mental body. I think the physical body is going to be fine because we already have the Queen of Pentacles here. I think it's the rest of our internal world that really just has to shift and, again, to settle and coalesce. So yeah, 30, 40 days, which would put us, what? Well, mid-January. Oh, the node shift, actually, because today's the today's the 2nd. Yeah, so around that time, it'd be like the 16th or 17th. I adjusted the intensities the other day. Oh, side note. This is definitely period brain because I'm forgetting the announcements that I have for folks. There are still 2 sessions left and available to book in for the 2022 astrology. I just had the 2 intensives on Tuesday, and then there's 2 more coming up next Thursday. So next Thursday, there will not be an Oracle Talks, FYI, because all day I'm going to be in those sessions. So if you want to know what's happening with the year ahead, specifically related to astrology, that's what you want to book in for. But the nodes are shifting, I believe, on the 19th. But I think actually Venus is going direct maybe like 2 days before that, or maybe Uranus is going direct. But there's a lot happening around that time. So yeah, just take it easy. I mean, we're going into winter anyway. So, you know, let the sacred black, the deep womb space of winter really support this deeper healing and transformation work, because it really is a big deal. Whether or not people outside of you like perceive it, like this literally has nothing to do with external validation or approval. Like, it's, again, this has been something that we've been dealing with, struggling with, battling with for a really long time, whatever this belief system is. And it's probably something, honestly, that's just based out of survival in some way, shape, or form. You know, and it served us for the time that it served us. And we have shifted, and it's good. But, you know, it's time to allow for that healing to allow that healing to fully close the chapter. So this is bringing back to mind the importance of remembering that everything has its timing. Our body has its own timing. Our emotions have its own timing. Our mind has its own timing. And it's important to not try to force or impose an idea about what you think the timing should be, and instead to allow yourself the opportunity to feel into and submit to really the timing that is natural to it. Right, a reason in the season. Let's see, on YouTube we have loads of tears these last 2 days. Yay, tears. Stemming from familial stuff, shifting beliefs around my involvement and trying to let the things go and resolve organically. More faith in the process. Yeah, letting things resolve and organically, which it can do when we remove more of our energy. The divine can actually step in. that's also a lesson with the Pisces archetype period, is letting God be God instead of feeling like you are to be playing that role. You are not the all for others. Your job is just to be the part of the divine that your soul has chosen to be in the world. That's it. So, and was that last week's, or no, it was the week before, when we were talking about our names and what that correlates to in terms of the aspect of the divine that we show up as, right? Like, that's your job. It's just one piece of the puzzle. Everything else, like, for real, pull the fuck back. Before you do anything else, ask, have I first completed my energetic assignment, right? And then, if there is more for me to do, then, I can listen to that. But if not, like, you don't get allowed to show up as another part of divinity when you're not even, haven't even put respect on your own divinity first. Like, that's not what we're about to do. Okay, I can't even get off the phone to enjoy you. Being the all for others is leaving me. No time for me. Yeah. And it's really for your soul and your soul assignment. And that's the thing. You are not God. None of us are. We are a part of God. We are children of God, but we are not the all. And that is the lesson of Pisces. It's like, we are not the ocean. I mean, that shit gets real clear as soon as you go into the ocean. It's like, oh shit. I thought I could do something because, I was cool with this river over here or this lake over here. Mm-mm. Ocean energy will really tell you your place. The ocean will tell you your place. So whenever you think you're doing something, just go to the ocean and think about the ocean. Yeah, see, that's taking your power, putting your phone on D&D so you can listen. Oh yeah, the death of Jackie. So feel that grief though, because that death card also represents the conscious grief process, and I've been very what do I want to say? Open about how this year, with the anniversaries of a lot of the high-profile deaths, in particular the police killing of Black people here in the U.S., is coming up, and Spirit was like, you're going to have to grieve this. So, and it's important to do, because even though there wasn't a direct relationship with any of those individuals, it did not absolve me of feeling the collective grief, because I am human. So when humanity hurts, I hurt. It's not a lesser grief just because there's not a direct impact. And that's our Western conditioning, is if it does not affect me or the people I care about, then I shouldn't care, or it shouldn't bother me. It's like, no, and actually, we're not separate. So it's a great unlearning. But yeah, no, when grief comes up, don't be surprised. Don't be surprised. Okay. I think that's it. Let me see. Closing guidance. I think we can bounce. Because there's definitely not a doing energy, except like continuing to choose a new belief system and watching where, especially during Sag season, where you might be pushing ahead outside of your timing, or like having mind energy coming in. So you got King of Cups. Yeah, beautiful grounding, emotional energy, Nine of Pentacles. Yeah, so I mean, physically things should be stable. And then Ten of Swords. This energy is still being healed and cleared out of your system. So please take your time. Three of Pentacles. And yeah, this may be, I mean, well, this is 3 months. So give it time. Anywhere from 1 month to 3 months. Which basically is going to be spring, you know? But regardless, this kind of energy, King of Cups and Nine of Pentacles, should be in general what you feel for the most part within yourself. And that might be really, again, kind of disorienting because it's a fullness in you and no longer a spilling over into other. And you get to watch that compulsion come up. You're welcome for the name reminder. Yes, gracefully move forward. But I also invite you to look at what grace means and looks like. Because I think we can latch on to one definition of something, and this is a good reminder for everybody. I think we can latch onto one definition of whatever our name represents, but there is a lot more to it. Grace has a lot of different energy. And I know because that's one of my functions. There is a thing such as fierce grace. There is a thing like fierce grace. Yeah. Okay. So I think that's actually it. Feels complete. Any quick questions before we bounce? So again, enrollment is open for enrollment is open for the Lightworker Incubator. Sorry, I'm looking at emails. Enrollment is open for the Lightworker Incubator through December 16th. So for 2 more weeks, you can find details on the website, innersunalchemy.com. Click on Lightworker Incubator, or if you're on Instagram, click the link in the bio. And then also there are 2 more astrology for 2022 intensives coming up. So you still have time to sign up for one of those. Oh, did you have a question, Adiola? If you do, we can jump on IG real quick. Yeah, the lives are recorded. So unless, Instagram chooses not to pull it up, like it'll be here. But I am also dual streaming on YouTube. So if for some reason this does not save on IG, it is on YouTube's, and the link for YouTube is also in the link in my bio on IG, so you can go there. Folks who are on YouTube, you definitely should be subscribed to the channel, but you can see Oracle Talks there as well. Oh, okay, cool. You are welcome. All right, so yeah, we're at 11:11, so I'll go ahead and stop. Yeah, I got 4 swords, so we'll stop. Have a beautiful rest of the week. Enjoy your new moon solar eclipse in Sagittarius. For folks who are in the Facebook alumni group for the incubator folks, we will be having our private channeling on Sunday. That email for the Zoom link should be coming out, I believe, either tomorrow or Saturday. Yeah. So there's that. Yeah. I think we should be good. All right. So reach out if you have any questions about the astrology intensives or the Lightworker Incubator. And I will see you when I see you, God willing. Au revoir. Bye.